Welcome, everyone. We're expecting a few others, but we'll just let them join us when they are able to. Um, Feel free to speak up during the presentation. I love any kind of interaction. Um, and if you prefer, go ahead and type your questions into the chat window. I'll try and keep my eye on that. I sometimes forget, but I'll certainly get to those questions before the end of the presentation. My name is Patrick McNichols. I'm the founder and president of Computer Training Source, or CTS, and we are approved to provide training programs to those people who are approved for this grant that we're going to be discussing. A little bit about me. I started out in technical support a long time ago, and I did a lot of networking, IT networking, and I got very familiar with one system, and they asked me to do some training of others for that system. And then I got into the training world and did some training for other organizations and started my own training company in 1991. And and then since that point, we now have about 25 different instructors, and we have a couple of hundred students that are getting this WIOA funding that we're going to be talking about. And we also do a lot of training for Chicago area corporations. So hopefully you can see up on the screen the agenda for the presentation. We'll discuss, what is this WIOA thing, these federal training grants that are available. Go into a little bit more about us. I'll cover what training and certifications we have available through the WIOA, and we'll discuss how you can whether or not you qualify for WIOA. And we'll go into how you can apply for WIOA training grants. And then we can go over some questions and answers at the end. So the first thing is WIOA stands for Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, but nobody calls it that. That is way too wordy. Everyone refers to it as WIOA or WIOA or WIOA, and I'll probably refer to it a couple different ways during the presentation. It replaced the Workforce Investment Act, WIA, in 2014. These are it's an act of Congress to provide funding for training and certification for people that are laid off from their job, or low income, or lacking basic skills, or veterans, and many other ways you can qualify, and we'll go into that a little bit later. But if you did a training program under the WIA program in 2014 or earlier, or if you've done a WIOA training program in the past, you may not qualify for another one. It's basically designed to be kind of a once in a lifetime deal. There are some exceptions to that, and sometimes people do get a second training grant through the WIOA, but not usually. So, a little bit about us. This is a photo taken in one of our classrooms. We can get a couple of students in the classrooms these days, but most of our students are attending from home for safety reasons. If you're in the classroom, we have to keep you separate from each other, separate from the instructor. So it really limits the class size. So we really limit that to people that really do not have a good setup at all at home. But otherwise, people are attending from home. It's when you're attending from home, it's still live training. You can see the instructor's screen. You can talk to the instructor. It's a small group. It's usually about 4 to 10 people. So you get plenty of attention from the instructor. It's very interactive. And also, if you're doing a software application class, like if you're doing Excel pivot tables or Tableau or Microsoft project training, the instructor can see your screen even when you're attending from home. And that's really important because if you get stuck in using Tableau, it's important that the instructor can see your screen in order to help you out. But we've got 3 locations, Chicago, Schaumburg, and Naperville. Our main location is in Chicago at 420 North Wabash. We're near the Wrigley Building, the Tribune Tower, the North Michigan Avenue Bridge area there. We also have classrooms in Schaumburg and Naperville. But as I said, most of our students are attending from home currently. If you're attending from home, you know, we ship you the student manual before the class date so you can write in it during the class. And we, you know, like I mentioned, we've been around for quite a while. We've been in the WIOA program for quite a while, so we're very, very familiar with it. This is a list of the different kinds of training programs that we offer through WIOA. And we've got 5 different types of programs. We've got project management, business analysis type of training programs, also process improvement type training programs. We've got internet marketing or digital marketing kind of training programs. We have web development type of training programs. We have administrative type of training programs like for office managers, executive assistants, administrative assistants, and we have IT technical training programs. Our business management, our project management, business analysis, process improvement type of training programs are great for somebody who has on-the-job experience managing projects and would like to get a certification to prove, you know, what they know. However, it can also be really good for somebody who wants to get into this area. There is good job prospects for project managers, business analysts, project assistants, project coordinators. And so if you'd like to become a project assistant or project coordinator and you don't have any, you know, hands-on experience on the job managing projects, you can still, there's some training and certifications that we can do for you, you know, that don't have any prerequisites. Our internet marketing and digital marketing training programs are really good for someone who has done, you know, traditional marketing possibly in the past, but would like to get more experience, hands-on experience using digital marketing tools. However, this also can be a good area for somebody who has maybe some office experience, but would like to get more specialized and would like to get some digital marketing skills. There's good job prospects in this area also for web content specialists, for digital marketers, for social media coordinators. Our web development programs are basically front-end web design, web development programs, and they are great for somebody who is interested in coding, maybe feels that they have an aptitude for coding, but also, you know, would like to get more design skills as well. Our administrative training programs, such as our office manager program, executive assistant, administrative assistant training programs, are great for somebody who has maybe worked in an office environment but would like to freshen up their skills, Microsoft Office, QuickBooks, Adobe skills, maybe get some certifications from Microsoft or Adobe or QuickBooks. Our IT technical programs are great for somebody who would like to break into IT. IT has got good job prospects. It is an area that you can do a career change into, and with training and certifications that are very well regarded by hiring managers in IT. And once you're in IT, there's a lot of different directions you can go. Our IT technical programs are best for somebody who feels that they're good at problem solving, because that's a lot of times what, you know, that's your role. People are going to come to you if they have problems. So you got to be ready for that, and hopefully you feel like you have the aptitude to help them solve their problems. But the training will really prepare you for that. The training and certifications that you can get through that program will prepare you for that. Any questions on these different types of training programs that we
Yes,
offer?
hi.
Hi.
Hi, Ms. Honey Harris. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I have a question. Now, I believe that the WIA program would pay for us to take courses at another location, but from what I'm hearing, you're offering educational courses. Is that true?
Yeah, the way the WIOA program works is that first you get approved for WIOA funding, and then secondly, you can decide where you want to do your training. You can, and sometimes it's through the location that approved you for WIOA funding, or it can be through many other training providers like us, and there's others that have
Okay.
different training programs that are approved for people who are approved for WIOA. Yeah.
All right. And I do have another question.
Hmm.
My computer skills are very limited. I'm from a I'm from the food world, serving stuff like that. So
Hmm.
I don't have a lot of computer skills. So would administration, because you mentioned administration for people who already have experience. I have customer service experience. I just don't have the computer experience. So would
Yeah.
that be
Yeah, there would be some good programs in there for you. Yes, because what we prepare you for is to work in kind of any office, which is Microsoft Office, learning Microsoft Office, learning QuickBooks, learning Windows itself, and managing files and file folders in Windows, and learning Adobe, and those are used in all offices these days. So yeah, that would be the best kind of program for you, probably. Hmm.
okay? Thank you so much.
Hmm. Sure. Now, if you're interested in something that's not listed here, such as a medical training program or commercial truck driving or something like that, there are other WIOA approved training providers out there that have those kinds of training programs. We do not do medical training programs or commercial truck driving, but there are others. You may want to stay tuned here because we are going to talk about, how you can, whether you qualify for WIOA and how you can apply for WIOA, and that would be appropriate for you even if you're going for a different kind of training program that we don't offer. Okay. So to give you a little bit more details about these kind of training programs that we offer, this is an example of a project management kind of a training program that we put together for someone, and it's got a half a dozen different training and certifications included. This would be for an experienced project manager, because one of the training and certifications that's included here is the PMP certification. The PMP stands for Project Management Professional. It's awarded by the Project Management Institute, PMI, and it's only appropriate for someone who's an experienced project manager. You do have to have, with a bachelor's degree, 36 months of projects that you've worked on in the past, and you have to document that before they'll even give you a test date. But the PMP is a very, well-known and well-regarded certification for experienced project managers. However, they do also have an associate certification, the CAPM, or Certified Associate in Project Management, or CAPM, and it's also awarded by the Project Management Institute. And it is for people who have gone through training and who have passed an exam on project management principles, but do not have any on-the-job experience in project management. So that's an option. Other training and certifications that are included in this particular program: Agile Scrum training and certification. Agile Scrum is really the popular way of doing projects now. And there's a Scrum Master certification, there's a Scrum Product Owner certification that's available. And so you can get trained in how to do things the Agile way. And those certifications can be a lot easier than the PMP as well. Their business analysis training and certification is included in this sample program. Business analysis is kind of like consulting, how to work with a group and elicit information from that group to help them out, how to put together requirements for a new process or procedure or system for that group, and how to evaluate different solutions and recommend a good solution for them. And there's certifications from this organization called the International Institute of Business Analysis, IIBA. Then Tableau and Power BI are in this particular, training program. Tableau and Power BI are for visualizing data analytics, and that's kind of a popular area right now with employers. Employers want project managers and business analysts who can do some data analytics. And for example, with Tableau and Power BI, you can say, okay, here's my data. Show me a cluster analysis. Does my data fall into different clusters? Or show me a linear regression. And it's very good for that. And there's certifications from Tableau or certifications from Microsoft, which is the owner of Power BI. And there's also a cloud training and certification in this program. The cloud is very popular right now, and it's very important for people who want to be project managers, business analysts, internet marketers, IT tech people. All those types should be familiar with the cloud these days. The cloud is a big deal. Lots of organizations are putting their systems in the cloud rather than on their own file servers in their own data centers. The Amazon cloud, Amazon Web Services, AWS, is the most popular cloud right now. Netflix, DoorDash, run off of AWS cloud. And so you should be at least, if you are looking to be a project manager, business analyst, internet marketer, IT tech person, you should at least be familiar with the basics of the AWS cloud or the Microsoft Azure cloud. So again, this is just an example of one, project management program that we put together for one person. If you're interested in a, project management business analysis kind of a training program, your program may look very different. You may have different training and certifications included. We can customize your training program, to really fit your needs. Some of the other training and certifications we could include in your program, Salesforce administration. Salesforce is used by thousands and thousands of organizations to keep track of their prospects and their customers and so forth, and their marketing. And organizations need people who can administer and customize and configure Salesforce to work good for their organization. IT security can be a good good inclusion for somebody who's a project manager or a business analyst. IT security is a big issue. There's a premier kind of certification, director level certification called CISSP, which is awarded from the ISC squared, which could be part of your program. Six Sigma training and certification could be included in your program. Six Sigma is all about process improvement. If you can measure it, you can improve it. It's kind of the philosophy of Six Sigma. And the certifications are like karate belts, white belt, yellow belt, green belt, black belt, master. But the green belt is really the first kind of legitimate Six Sigma certification. ITIL is another training and certification that could be included in your program. ITIL is about IT best practices. How should IT be done these days? How should IT be of service to the organization? What kind of a ticketing system should IT have? What's lean, what's agile, what's DevOps, what's all this stuff that's going on in IT these days. And the ITIL foundation certification is pretty easy to obtain. So again, this is just an example kind of project manager training program that we put together. This is an example internet marketing or digital marketing training program that we put together. And again, yours could look different, but this one includes search engine optimization training, SEO, which is very important in training in how to get your organization's website found higher in the Google search results. Social media training to promote your organization. Google training and certification. Google is a huge player in digital marketing. Google pay per click, Google ads pay per click, and Google analytics certification. But also training in how to, get behind the scenes on websites and into the HTML and CSS, because sometimes you need to do that when you're doing digital marketing. And of course, data analytics is a big deal in marketing. This is an example of a web development, web design, web development program that we put together. HTML and CSS, all websites are really made up of HTML and CSS, so of course you have to know that. Training in JavaScript, which adds a lot of functionality to websites. WordPress is the most popular, platform for websites these days. So training in WordPress, cloud training, and PHP, MySQL, and more technical training can also be included in there. This is an example of an IT tech program that we put together for someone. So your program could have, you know, 4 or 5 different training and certifications like this, maybe different ones. This one has a training and certification from an organization called CompTIA or CompTIA, depending on who you ask. But CompTIA is they're a nonprofit that's a lot of tech companies contribute to CompTIA, like Dell and HP and Microsoft all contribute to CompTIA. And so CompTIA keeps their certifications kind of neutral. And all their certifications have a plus sign after them. That's how you can tell it's a CompTIA certification. A plus, Network plus, Security plus, Project plus, those are all CompTIA certifications. The CompTIA A plus certification is considered kind of the core IT certification to get for somebody who wants to get into IT. And there's 2 exams you have to pass to get that certification. Network Plus goes into networking. A cloud certification here is very important for IT technicians to know something about the cloud. ITIL Foundation certification could be included. Other ones that could be included in here, Cisco certification. CCNA is Cisco's basic certification. Salesforce certification, Salesforce administrator. Security training and certifications could be included in here. And last but not least, this is an example of an office administration kind of a training program for administrative assistants, executive assistants, office managers. Of course, it includes Microsoft Office training and certification. Microsoft Office is used in every office these days, practically. So you really need to know that. Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Outlook, Access, Excel. But of those, Excel is by far the most important one to learn these days. Everybody's using Excel everywhere for every kind of role. And employers really want people who know the intermediate to advanced features of Excel. Excel pivot tables and Excel VLOOKUP are the 2 most requested features by employers these days, because with pivot tables and VLOOKUP, you can really look at data different ways. And so those are the most requested features by employers these days. So if you're only going to get one Microsoft Office certification from Microsoft, get Excel certified. That's gonna give you the most benefit. QuickBooks training and certification from QuickBooks could be included in your program. QuickBooks is used by every small business, and they like all their staff to be familiar with QuickBooks. Adobe is used in most offices these days, so Adobe training and certification, Photoshop, Illustrator, Adobe InDesign for catalogs and newsletters, brochures, training in file management, managing files and folders, you know, and then other training like changing websites and things like that could also be included in your program. Let's see what if we have any questions here that I can address right now. What qualifies as a valid project for the PMP if you're not in IT? Yeah, it doesn't have to be an IT project. You know, could be any kind of a project, as long as it, you know, has a start, has a unique goal, and has an end. It's a project. And you should be like leading or managing that project. And to qualify for the PMP exam, if you have a bachelor's degree, you have to have 36 months of experience doing projects, and you got to be able to list those projects out. And they have to be in the last 8 years too. But that PMP is really, you know, a lot of our students are looking to get that PMP certification. That exam is pretty rigorous. It's pretty difficult to pass, but we prepare you really well for it. You know, we provide a copy of Rita Mulcahy's PMP exam prep guide to all of our students, and that's been the most popular PMP exam prep guide for over 10 years. And it's got lots of great practice questions in it. And we have a practice exam that's timed just like the real exam. It's so if you do well on that, you'll do well in the real PMP exam. Yeah, with all of these training and certifications, another question here in the chat, you know, are you offering the certification exam? With all of these programs, WIOA pays for everything. They pay for the training, they pay for the books, they pay for the practice exams, they pay for the real certification exams, and we have an exam pass guarantee so that if you don't pass an exam, we can pay for a retake for you. All of this training you can do from home. Like I said, it's live training, so you can ask the instructor questions throughout the training, but you can do it all from home. We can ship you the student manuals, before the session, so you can write in those during the class. And if you're learning software, like if you're learning Excel pivot tables or Microsoft Project or something like that, the instructor can see your screen too, even if you're training from home, so they can help you out if you get stuck. Xandra, are you interested in one of these kind of training programs?
Hi, yes, I am. I'm interested in the IT networking
Okay.
program.
Okay. Yeah, good training and certifications for IT networking are the Network Plus training and certification from CompTIA, and also the Cisco CCNA. They're both great starting networking certifications. Mhm.
Yeah, I applied for my WIOA. I'm in a robotics manufacturing program, but with the COVID, I never really got any word back, so I'm not sure if they're actually using those funds for this program I'm in.
Okay.
Um, so if I could get the WIOA to fund this IT networking program,
Okay.
I would definitely do it.
Okay. All right. Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
Sure. Thanks for joining us. Latanja, are you interested in one of these kind of training programs? And I realize some of you might not have a microphone. How about Tanya?
No, actually, no, but I mean, as you're starting to go through it, then um, it could be. But you said that you will talk about other programs possibly that,
Well, I'm not going to talk about other programs, but there are other programs available from other training providers that can be all paid by WIOA. So if you're interested in a medical program or commercial truck driving or something like that, there are other, WIOA training providers out there that have those programs, and it can be paid all by the WIOA funding. So I will talk about how you can apply for WIOA. So you might want to stay tuned, even if you're not, interested in one of these kind of training programs.
okay, because it's definitely medical, but would I have to sit for another program or I will be able to say that I sat for this one, which would kind of help out as far as with my with medical.
Yeah, you can stick in this presentation because I'm gonna show you how you can find out how to apply for WIOA, and that's appropriate for anybody, no matter what kind of training program they're doing. Is you first have to apply to even get approved for WIOA funding.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so yeah, that leads us right into that, which is before you even apply, you might want to take a look and see whether you're going to be eligible. And here's a link, and I'll put this also in. I'll copy this into the chat window in case somebody wants to copy it out of there. But I'll also send you this link after the presentation, so don't worry about copying it or writing it down or anything like that at this point. But if we go to this link, this is a page that tells you whether or not you qualify for WIOA. And at the top of this page, it says WIOA Works Illinois. It's part of the American Job Center Network, and this explains who qualifies for WIOA grants. And they have different categories of funding. They have this adult category of funding. They have dislocated worker category of WIOA funding. They have a youth category of WIOA funding, and they have an incumbent workers category of WIOA funding. Most of our students get their WIOA funding through this adult category or through this dislocated worker category. The adult category of WIOA funding is for people who are low income, people who have a deficit of basic skills. Maybe they're not computer literate. It's for people who are on public assistance and for veterans. All those types would qualify under WIOA under this adult category of funding. The dislocated worker category of funding is for people who have been, terminated from their job or laid off from their job due to no fault of their own. And I should note here that there's no income check here. So if you were making like $175,000 a year at your last job and you got laid off, you're still qualified for WIOA funding under this dislocated worker category. The dislocated worker categories also for Armed Forces Services members who are separating from the Armed Forces. It's for displaced homemakers, which my understanding, displaced homemakers is like, a stay-at-home spouse that now needs to, because some change in their family income situation, needs to, work outside the home. It is for military spouses of active duty service members. So all those types would qualify under this dislocated worker category of WIOA funding. The youth category of WIOA funding is pretty self-explanatory for younger workers, and the incumbent workers category of WIOA funding, this actually goes through employers. If employers have employees that need training or else they have to lay them off, then they would be, that employer would be eligible for the incumbent worker funding. Like I said, most of our students either get this adult funding or this dislocated worker funding through WIOA. And the reason why it's kind of, it's good to know this terminology is because as you go through this process, your career coach, your career advisor, the person that, is going to approve you for WIOA is probably going to mention it at some point. Okay, you qualify under the dislocated worker category, or you qualify under the adult category of WIOA, and sometimes they run out of money in these categories, and they might say, oh, you qualify under the dislocated worker category of WIOA funding, but we're out of that funding right now, and they might be out of that funding for a couple of weeks or a month or something. So just good to know the terminology, but also good to know before you kind of go down this road, because it is a government program. It can take a while to get approved and get your training started. It's good to know, whether or not you qualify before you start this process. So any questions about who qualifies for WIOA?
No, sir.
All right.
Quick question. When we're done with all this, are you going to give us the direct link to the application too as well?
I will. What I'll do is I'll show you, and that's what we're going to do right here next. Actually, is this is the site that where you can find a location where you can apply. Okay, and there's lots of different locations where you can apply, and you don't have to go in. You can do it from home. And let me just copy that and put that over here in the chat window also for those that want it. Let me do that again because I just sent it to one person instead of all of you. Sorry about that. Here we go. And but I will, after the presentation also, I'll send you these links too. But if you go to this page, so again, don't worry about writing that down because I will send that to you after the presentation. But this is what this page looks like. And this is the page that says Illinois WorkNet Center at the top, American, part of the American Job Center Network. This page has got all the locations of where you can apply for WIOA. The locations on this list are the only ones that can approve you for WIOA in Illinois. Okay, and so you have to find at least one location. You might want to contact a couple of these locations and see which one can get you approved first. But in Illinois, it's all handled by county. Okay, so you can reach out to some counties only have one Illinois WorkNet location, like DuPage County only has one location in Lisle. Cook County has dozens and dozens of different locations you can go through to get approved for WIOA. But when you're searching for locations here, I recommend that you click on this radio button next to where it says, search for locations that offer WIOA services. And then, you could search by city or county. This stands for LWIA, stands for Local Workforce Investment Area. Like Chicago or Cook County is LWIA 7, you know, but nobody would search on that. But just search by your city or by county, and it'll pull up the locations that can approve you for WIOA. Or you can go through the click on this map if you want. It's got the different counties and different colors. And but you keep scrolling down and it'll show you the locations. So I searched on Chicago within like 10 miles of Chicago. It gave me 52 different locations, okay, that can approve you for WIOA. And so this is the first one that comes up in the Pilsen area on West 18th Street. And so this is a Cook County location. Now, as far as where you can go to get approved, okay, you can always go to the location in the county where you live, but you could also go through the county where your last employer was located. So if you live in the far west suburbs, but your last employer was in the city of Chicago, you could go with a Cook County location, you know. And if you're in the city of Chicago, you can go with any Cook County location. So you could go with a suburban Cook, you know, contact a suburban Cook County location, or you could contact a city location. Doesn't have to be a city location though, because the city of Chicago and Cook County are in partnership for WIOA. So all the Cook County locations are the same. Here's another Cook County location on South Cottage Grove. Here's a suburban Cook County location in Arlington Heights. So if you're in the city of Chicago, you could contact this location to get approved for WIOA. If you're anywhere in Cook County, you can go through this location to get approved.
One more question. Just say if none of them are, like, if you call and reach out to them, none of them are picking up. Is it a way you can just do it online without having to talk to anybody? Okay.
Yeah, that's a good question, because if you call, you're not going to reach anybody. You know, you're probably just going to get voicemail. So what I recommend is start with the website link here. Okay, go through their website. It'll spell out how you can apply for WIOA on their website. It'll typically say, first off, you got to do their orientation too. I apologize, another orientation, but, you know, hey, it's what you got to do. And so participate in their orientation, and then they'll ask for your contact information.
Okay.
And then it might be a couple days, it might be a couple weeks before they get back to you. And then they're going to assign you to a career coach. And that's your goal, is you got to get assigned to that career coach. Sometimes they call them career advisors. You got to get assigned to a career coach or career advisor at one of these locations, you know, to get approved for WIOA. Now in Cook County, by the way, Cook County has contracts with these different agencies to run the locations, like the National ABLE Network, Employee and Employer Services, Serco, KRA, you know, these different agencies have contracts to run the different locations. So don't be surprised if somebody says, hi, this is National ABLE, you know, they're running the location, but if it's on this website, if it's on this list, they can approve you for WIOA. Okay. But they do have to be on this list to approve you. Now, you might want to contact a location that specializes in your situation. You know, so if you're an immigrant, if you're a veteran, if you're laid off, you know, this location specializes in all those groups. If you are youth, if you're a mature worker, you know, this location specializes in those groups. So you may want to, you know, go through a location that specializes in groups that you're a part of. There's a question in the chat about, you know, applying in person or applying online. You can do this all from home. You know, you start with their website and follow their steps to apply for WIOA. Like I said, you'll probably have to view their orientation, send them their contact info. They'll reach out to you. They'll assign you to a career coach or career advisor. And that career coach or career advisor, that's going to be the person who can approve you for WIOA. Some of these other questions I'll get to a little bit later in the Yeah, if your full-time job was terminated due to COVID, you certainly qualify for WIOA. Any questions about finding a location? This Cook County location is run by this agency called KRA, but they can approve you. See if we can get to a non-Cook County, location here. I apologize for all the scrolling. But, well, I searched for Chicago, and that's why it's all Chicago and Cook County locations here. As I mentioned, and I think I mentioned it, but if you're in Cook County, I recommend that you reach out to several of these locations and contact them, because, and see which one gets back to you first, because some of them are, frankly, they're kind of overwhelmed right now with applicants. So they might be quite a while before some of the locations get back to you. And wouldn't limit yourself to just City of Chicago locations. I would also reach out to suburban Cook County locations. There's, one in Arlington Heights, one in Maywood, one in Chicago Heights, and so forth. And again, you don't have to go to the location. You can do this all from home. Okay, but this is where you have to, start the process. One of these locations has to approve you for WIOA. The goal, again, is to get assigned to a career coach or a career advisor. That's the person who's going to provide you with a packet of information that you have to fill out, and you'll have to fill out information about your past employment, your future employment goals, your income, and so forth. And they will be the one who approves you or does not approve you for WIOA, that career coach, career advisor. So you got to get assigned to that career coach or career advisor. Once you get assigned to that career coach, career advisor, fill out that information they give you, get it back to them as soon as possible. At this point, if you've been assigned to a career coach or a career advisor, you can contact us and we can start customizing a training program for you. We can start doing all the paperwork. We know all the paperwork that they're going to want from us. And you should also contact another training provider. I know you all want to train with us, but you do have to contact at least 2 training providers in WIOA. They want you to shop around a little bit. So you can contact us, contact another WIOA training provider, and we can give you a list of some other ones, or your career coach will give you a website where you can go and find other training providers. You've got to get information from 2 different training providers and compare them, and then it's supposed to be your choice. So let your career coach know, who you want to work with, where you want to do your training. Then get all that information from us, the paperwork from us and the paperwork from the other training provider. Get that back to your career coach as soon as possible, because then it is a government program. It can take a while, so you don't want to hold things up. Once you've gotten that paperwork back to your career coach, your career advisor, the packet of paperwork that they gave you, you fill it out, you get it back to them, you contact us, you contact another training provider, get paperwork from both, get that paperwork on those training programs back to your career coach. Then keep in touch with them. Keep in touch with them like every week. Make sure that they that your paperwork is moving along. The goal is to get a voucher. A voucher is just a one page thing, and the voucher says that that they will pay for your training program. So you want to get that voucher. That's your ticket to start training. If you even hear that you're getting that voucher, you want to contact us, let us know, say, hey, I hear I'm getting my voucher on Friday. We can start getting you the books for your first classes. We can start putting together a personal class schedule for you, and get you ready to start your training. That voucher, then we use that to bill WIOA for your training program. After you start your training, you want to keep in touch with your career coach. If you ever need anything from them down the line, you want to be on good terms. So keep in touch with them, let them know how the training's going. Take your certification exams that are included in your program. You know, even if you get employed during your training program, and by the way, you can get a job during your WIOA training program. They don't take the grant away. You know, you can, with us, all of our classes are offered in the evenings and on Saturdays as well as weekdays. So you could switch to just evening and Saturday classes to finish your training. But do your certification exams. You might be thankful if that job that you get, that next job doesn't work out for one reason or another. You might be thankful you've actually got the official certifications. All right. Any questions on how to apply for WIOA? Again, I'll send you this link after the presentation, but you contact at least one of the places on this list and do their orientation, register with them, get assigned to a career coach or career advisor. Keep bugging these places until you get assigned to a career coach, because that's the only person who can approve you for WIOA. Contact us, after you've been assigned to a career coach. We can start customizing a training program for you. Contact another training provider, get information from them on a training program, get that paperwork back to your career coach, tell them you want to train with us, and then keep in touch with that career coach. Make sure that they're getting your paperwork in there, getting you that voucher. That's your ticket to start training. Any questions at all on applying for WIOA? These are some frequent questions that I get then. How long is the training program? Well, it depends. It depends, what's included in your program. For example, let's say this project manager training program here. You could do each of these in 1 week. If you're not working, you might want to take some time off in between classes to study for and pass the certification exam, but you could do the training, in 1 week each. Most of our students, what they do is they do a couple of, classes, they get a couple of certifications, and then they get hired. And then they switch to evening and Saturday classes to finish their program. So, your training program might take 6, 8, 10 weeks. Or, if you get a job early in your training program and you need to switch to just evening classes, could take longer. You could take up to a year if you like with us. Another question I get a lot is, will I lose my unemployment compensation if I get into a WIOA training program? No. WIOA training is the only training that's authorized that you can do and receive unemployment compensation, so you won't lose your unemployment compensation. Is there any cost to you? Not if you do one of our training programs. We design all of our training programs to be within the maximum amounts paid by that county for WIOA. So there won't be any cost to you if you go with us. If you go with somebody else, be careful that you don't get into a situation where there's any cost to you. But that brings up, what's the maximum that you can get for a WIOA training grant, and that varies based on county and based on type of training programs. Generally between $5,000 and $10,000. For example, in Cook County, they'll pay up to $8,000 tuition for a project manager, business analyst kind of training program. But they'll pay a little more than that, but only if it's for books and exams. So your program could be between $8,000 and $10,000 in Cook County for a project manager or business analyst type of training program, all paid by WIOA. If you're in Lake County, for example, they have a $7,000 maximum. That has to pay for everything: tuition, books, exams, and everything. In Kane County, $10,000 maximum. In DuPage County, $10,000 maximum for your WIOA grant for everything.
I have a question.
Yes, Alicia.
Can you do more than one program?
You can basically only do one program through WIOA. It's designed just for one training program, but within that one training program, you could have several different training and certifications in it, you know?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. You know, so for example, for an IT technical program, like I have on the screen here, you know, you could have like 4 different training and certifications included in that one program. But yeah, it's basically designed just for one program per person per lifetime. Let's see, where was I here? Is there any way to speed up the process? You know, people ask me that a lot, and, you know, it's a government program. So, you know, there's only so much you can do. You know, one recommendation I have, if you're in Cook County, is reach out to several different Illinois WorkNet locations to see which one gets back to you first. You know, don't just contact one and wait on it. You may be waiting quite a while. Contact several of them, see which one reaches out to you first, gets back to you first, and can get you approved for WIOA first. Another way to speed up the process is to get all that paperwork back to your career coach as soon as possible. You know, don't delay it. Another question I get is, hey, are they going to ask me for any money back? You know, if I don't finish the program or something like that? No, they won't. If you don't finish the program, they might ask us for some of your money back, but they're not giving you any money. You know, they're just giving you a voucher that then you pass on to us, and we use that to bill them. So if you were to drop out early in your training program or something, they might ask us for a refund, but they won't ask you for anything. Any other questions that I haven't addressed? Somebody mentions that they live in Peoria County. Well, the WIOA is a nationwide program. It's available in all states. In Illinois, it's available in all counties, you know, but you need to, you know, go through the county where you live is the best bet. You can oftentimes go through the county where your last employer was headquartered. Sometimes you can even just go to a county. I've had some students that have gone through a county. They didn't live in that county and their last employer wasn't located in that county, and they got approved through it. But generally, you're going to have the least resistance if you go through the county where you live. Like I said, for the length of the program really depends on what's included in your program and your availability, whether you're working. You know, if you're not working, then you could go through the training program quicker. If you get a job and accept a job during the training program, with the nice thing being that you can still, you know, finish your training program even if you get employed, but it will take longer than to finish your training program if you accept a job during your training program. To get approved, you got to go through one of those Illinois WorkNet, you know, locations, and I'll send you that link afterwards. Let's see other chat questions here. Scholarships. You know, sometimes we will reduce the cost of our program if it's over what your county will pay, you know, but we generally only accept WIOA, and we don't do other types of scholarships and things like that.
I have another question.
Yes.
With the program, do they offer like any assistance, any additional assistance, like with transportation to get into the program?
They might, yes, they might. You know, right now it might be hard to justify because you can take it from home, you know, but they have in the past. They've given people transportation stipends. They've done some things with child, you know, care in the past for people. So certainly bring that up with your career coach. You know, bring that up with your career advisor, and see if they can help you out with that.
Okay, and one more question. So all of the classes now are basically online?
Yeah, I mean, we can get a couple students into our classrooms, you know, if you really need to, if you don't have a good setup at all at home for it. But you know, we try and encourage people for safety's sake to attend from home. Most of our students are very pleasantly surprised with how effective it is. You know, we ship you the book ahead of time so you can write in it during the class, and it's live, and the instructor can see your work and see what you're doing, help you out. It's very interactive, you know, so it's pretty much just like being in the classroom.
Okay, thank you.
Somebody mentioned in the chat, you know, if you like start a program and you pay on your own, then you receive WIOA funding, will you be reimbursed? Not officially, you know, so be careful with that. You know, we've done that in the past for some people who wanted to get started quickly, you know, but just, you know, be careful because you might be on the line for it if you don't get approved for WIOA for some reason. But it's best to wait until you get that voucher and then start your training program. My email address is in the chat window. It's also on the screen right now, patrick@ctstraining.com. If you want to contact us, you can always find us at CTS, you know, Google CTS in Chicago or Computer Training in Chicago. WIOA Chicago, we've been around here a long time. We come up at the top of the Google search results. We will follow up with an email after the presentation that has these different links to find out whether you qualify and to find a Illinois WorkNet Center location. My recommendation is reach out to those locations, a couple of them maybe, as soon as possible. Start the ball rolling. You know, it can take a while. It's a government process. There's lots of interest in it. You know, you may be pleasantly surprised. You may be thinking that you're going to get a job in the next couple of weeks, but that job may not work out. You might be thankful that this WIOA, you know, funding is coming through for you at that point. And I think it's a great program. It's your tax dollars. It can really make a difference in your career. Lots of our students tell us that the training and certifications really help them to get their next role. It helped them in the interview process. They were able to talk the talk. You know, maybe they didn't know about Agile Scrum or they didn't know about Tableau or something, you know, before our training, and afterwards, you know, it came up in an interview and they were able to talk intelligently about it and show the future employer that they know what they're talking about. It also tends to give people a lot of confidence in their job search. So please reach out to us. Let me know if you have any questions. You know, as far as another question came up about internships or work assistance, you know, we do help you with that. There's not as many internships as, you know, during the pandemic as there was before the pandemic, but there are certainly ways that we can, you know, help you to get placed. And the majority of our students do get a job during their training program with us after they get some training and certifications. Yeah, I mean, if you don't have a computer, you know, at home, you know, we can help you out with that. You know, Mac or Windows, which you could use whichever one. All right, thank you very much for participating, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Good luck getting approved for WIOA.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. This is Leah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you, Patrick.
All right,
Appreciate it very
enjoy.
much.
Thank you, Patrick.
All right, have a good day.
You too.
You too. Happy New Year.
Hello, this is Maitri. I was late by 10 minutes and I missed some important information, I guess, when
Okay.
you start your presentation.
Yeah, you mentioned about this location here, this Arlington Heights location I have on the screen right now.
Yeah, I saw the same thing, but I couldn't find the contact number. It's just a phone sign. So
yeah, what I recommend though is going through their website really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And let me see if I can post that for you. Do you see it in the chat window? It's
Yeah.
www.northcookjobcenter.com.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I opened that page and
Yeah. Follow the steps in there. They're probably going to want you to have to attend their orientation and then register with them. And then it might take a few days, might take a couple of weeks before they assign you to a career coach.
oh, okay.
And that career coach, that's the person who can approve you for WIOA.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks
Okay.
for participating.
I also have a question.
Yes.
Can you email me the contact information? You said you was going to send it to us, correct?
Yes. Yeah, I like
Send
that.
you my email in a chat just in case you.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Tanya.